Hey guys, welcome to day 9. We just finished up a bit of a hangboard workout ourselves, so don't mind if we've got any dusty chalk marks on us. We figured since most of you probably do not have a hangboard at home and are not concerned about keeping your finger strength up while you're away from the climbing gym, we decided to do that portion of the workout without you. However, what we are going to bring you today is a little bit more targeted towards recovery and mindfulness, so we can all feel more relaxed and let loose and give the muscles some time to recover. That being said, Theresa is going to give you some options to throw on a bit of cardio or maybe some core. I'm not sure what she's got for you, but she'll let you know.
I got you.
Great. So, without further ado, I'm going to leave it to Theresa. She's going to take you through a yoga flow today and give you some further instructions. Enjoy, guys.
Alrighty, so as Ryan mentioned, we are going to be doing some yoga as your workout today. So if you would like to up the intensity, if you're feeling a little bit high energy or bored from being stuck at home, then you can, if you have somewhere to be outside that is not close to another human, introduce cardio along with this. So what you would do is you would do today's yoga flow, and then afterwards you would go out and either run, walk, ride your bike, take your longboard out, skateboard, whatever it is that you have that encourages cardio. And I would recommend doing interval training with your cardio. So whatever intensity you are up to, if you're running or if you're fast walking or if you're cycling hard or just going on a cruiser bike, it doesn't matter. What I want you to focus on is doing 1 minute difficult intensity or 80% effort, and then 1 minute easy intensity. And I want you to do 6 rounds of that if you are introducing cardio or combining cardio with this workout today. If you would like to just have a sort of medium style workout, you can just do the flow, and where I tell you to do an extra vinyasa, and I'll explain that in a little bit, you can do an extra vinyasa to intensify the yoga portion of this workout. And if you would prefer to take recovery, again, I'll give you options for recovery poses as we go. So today's probably going to be about 20 minutes of flow. You can do extra cycles of this if you wanted to increase it. There's tons of yoga online, so I always recommend Yoga International is a great resource for yoga. If you want to try it, they do lots of 14-day, 20-day, 30-day trials right now. You do have to give them a credit card, but I do recommend Yoga International as a good resource to my clients. But outside of that, you can just YouTube free yoga and find a ton. So we're just going to do a little snippet today, and we're going to combine some Ashtanga sun salutations with some standing poses, and then a little bit of yin or longer hold poses on top of the flow. So without further ado, let's stand to the top of your mat. If you don't have a mat at home, that's okay. You can just do it on the floor. It's just going to be a little harder. If you have a carpeted area in your house that you can stretch your arms over your head along, that's enough space to do some yoga. Okay, so we're going to stand at the top of the mat or on your carpet with your feet planted. And we're just going to take a couple of mindful breaths here. So turn your eyes down or close your eyes. Turn your palms to face forward. Open up your fingertips and ground through your toes. Feel out every individual toe pressing down into the floor beneath you. And we're going to take some nasal breaths here. So you're going to take an inhale through the nose. And you're also going to exhale through the nose. And I want you to take 3 more breaths in this style, just nostril breathing, filling your belly with breath each time you inhale, and then forcefully pushing your abdominal muscles or squeezing your abdominal muscles as you exhale forcefully through the nose. Think about lengthening your spine as you take these breaths, energizing out of the fingertips, but also rooting down through the ground beneath you. On your next inhale, you're going to take your arms up and overhead. And then you're going to exhale and fold your body forward. And we're just going to hang out here for a couple of breaths. I'd like you to take your hands to your elbows Allow your head, your shoulders, and your neck to relax in a forward fold position. And moving through the hips, you're gonna shift your torso from left to right, or right to left, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're staying loose in the shoulders, the neck, heavy in the head, and take full, deep, once again, nostril breaths in and out. On your next inhale, you're going to take your hands to your shins or your thighs and extend your spine. And then you're going to exhale and fold forward, bring your hands to the floor, and stepping back into a plank position. If this is too much, come to the knees. From here, we're going to exhale and lower down, almost like a negative push-up. Chest goes through the hands. And we're going to inhale, look up towards the ceiling with the shoulders away from the ears. We're going to exhale into downward dog, lifting the hips up, balls of the feet on the floor, heels pressed down towards the floor, spreading the fingertips and pushing the finger mounds evenly into the floor to take a little bit of pressure out of the wrists. Setting your shoulder blades back and down, keeping your head relaxed and heavy in the neck and shoulders. We're going to take 2 more full breaths in and out through the nose here. And then on your next inhale, you're going to look towards your fingertips and just step your feet towards your hands. You're going to exhale and fold forward here. On an inhale, you're going to come all the way back up to standing, reaching the arms up and overhead, and then bring the hands together into prayer position and bring them down in front of your heart. So that is Sun Salutation A, or Sri Namaskara A. We're going to do another one of those. Okay, so 2 total. We're going to inhale, reach arms up. We're going to exclude that extended forward fold position this time and just breathe through it. So on an exhale, you're coming down, and then on an inhale, you're going to come straight back up to a halfway hold position. Back is flat. And then you're going to exhale, fold. Step the feet back again from a high plank position or from the knees. You're going to lower the chest down to the floor between the hands. Inhale, press into the floor and lift the chest up, looking towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades press back and down. And then you're going to exhale, come into downward facing dog, lift the hips, press the heels to the floor, spread the fingers, spread the toes, relax the head and neck, setting the shoulders away from the ears. We're going to take 3 more full breaths in and out through the nose. On your next inhale, you're going to look again towards the fingertips and then step your feet towards your hands and exhale, fold forward. On an inhale, come up. And then once again, exhale, hands come through to center chest. We're going to speed this up a little bit. Moving on to Sun Salutation B. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up and sink into the knees. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back into a high plank position. Lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lift the chest, depress the shoulders. Exhale, come into downward facing dog. But this time you're going to plant your left foot and step your right foot forward. And you're going to inhale and reach up. This is kind of like a lunge position. Back leg is straight and strong. Front leg is bent. And you're going to sink into this lunge position, gazing up towards the ceiling, reaching your arms up. If this is too much for the arms, you can bring the hands down and the elbows bent. It's too much for the shoulders. And you're going to now exhale and bring the hands either side of the foot. Step back into a plank position. Lower yourself down once again to the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale. exhale, downward facing dog. And we're gonna do the other side. So you're gonna plant the right foot, step the left. Inhale, reach the arms up. Sink the hips down, back leg straight and strong, front leg bent. Again, you can use the options of the cactus arms here. And then you're gonna exhale, hands either side of your front foot, high plank position, lower yourself down to the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. And we're gonna hold here for 5 full breaths. Reaching the fingertips or spreading the fingertips apart, spreading the toes apart. Setting the shoulders back and down. Head is heavy, neck is soft. If you need to bend a little bit more into the knees here to shine your tailbone up towards the ceiling, please do. On your next inhale, you're gonna look towards your fingertips. Step your feet towards your hands. Exhale, fold and sink into your knees. From here, you're gonna sweep the arms up and keep the knees bent. And you're gonna inhale, come all the way up, and exhale, hands through heart center. So I'm pretty warm by now. That second version of the sun salutation is meant to get you a little bit warmer. So it should feel like it's getting your heart rate up a little bit. We're gonna do that one again. So you're gonna sink into the knees, inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step back. Come down through chaturanga or lowering down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And again, we're gonna step with the right, pivot with the left. Plant the left foot. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, sink into the legs. And then bring the hands down either side of your front foot. Step back into a plank position. Lower yourself down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're gonna plant with the right, step with the left. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, sink. Bring the hands down either side of front foot. Step the leg back. Lower yourself down from a high plank position. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. If this position is too much for the next 5 breaths, I want you to bring your knees to the floor, big toes together, and sink down onto your mat, resting your forehead. Big, full, deep breaths in and out through the nose. Taking one more breath here. On your next inhale, you're gonna look towards your fingertips. If you're in child's pose here, you're still looking towards the fingertips. You're coming and you're gonna step your hands, or your feet rather, towards your hands. Exhale, fold. Sink into the knees. Inhale, reach, and then exhale, come all the way up. Okay, so that's your sort of warm-up sequence through the sun salutations. We're gonna do a couple of standing postures now. So with your feet together, you're gonna step out with your right leg. And you see my toes are now pointing straight ahead with a wide stance. I'm now gonna pivot my right foot toes out to my right. I'm gonna keep my left toes facing forward. I'm gonna reach my arms up, and I'm gonna focus on my hip position. So I'm gonna actually pitch my hip to the left and bring my arms to the right, as I then bring my hand down to support on my shin. If you, in this position, can reach your hands towards the floor, go for it. Most of us are a little tight in the hamstrings, so the resting on the shin feels a little bit better. And we're just gonna breathe here. So this position is called triangle pose. For those of you that are not familiar with yoga, those of you that are, take this position to wherever your practice usually brings you. We're gonna take full deep breaths and think about rotating or turning the chest up towards the ceiling. You can bring your gaze up towards the ceiling as long as that doesn't feel hard on the neck. And tuck the chin to keep the spine long. Ryan is struggling in the corner over there. So if you're struggling too, you can bring the knee to bench. You can support yourself on the thigh. You can regress this position. We're going to take one more full breath in. And then we're going to exhale and come up. And we're going to go straight into the other side. Okay? So we're going to pivot the feet. Left toes are now facing out to the left. Right toes are facing in. I'm going to reach my arms up on an inhale. I'm going to shift my hips back this way, but my arm is going to come this way, and then I'm going to come into my triangle. So I'm supported by my shin here, but options to rest on your thigh, option to reach a little further down to your big toe, if you like, wherever your comfort level brings you today. We're going to breathe here, another 3 full deep breaths. So the aim generally with standing poses is that you would keep this position for 5 full breaths in and out. Okay, so let's take one more here. And then on your next inhale, come on up, and we're going to step back to the top of the mat. Second standing pose, we're going to step again with the right leg first. Nice wide stance, a little wider than your triangle pose. Again, we're going to pivot the right foot open, left foot stays straight ahead. We're going to reach the arms up again, sink into the right knee, back leg is straight and strong. I'm going to take my right arm and bring it to my thigh and sweep my left so that I have a nice long line from my left heel to my left fingertips. Now, if you want to take this a little further, you can bring the hand to the inside of your right foot. And if your yoga practice is pretty advanced, you can come into a bind here as well. For most of us here, we're beginners, so I'm just going to keep this in this regressed position as we are focusing on recovery today. Let's take one more full breath in here. Relax in the neck. Set back and down in the shoulders. And then on an inhale, we're going to come up. We're just going to pivot the feet and go straight into the other side. So I'm going to take my arms up. I'm going to sink into my left knee now, back leg straight and strong. Left elbow comes to left thigh, and I'm going to sweep my arm up. Side angle pose. So regressed, progressed, and then advanced with a bind. Choose your option for today. And try to breathe mindfully in this position. Find some kind of comfort in the chaos of holding isometric holds. One more full breath here. Reach and lengthen, and then exhale, come up. And again, we're going to step to the top of the mat. Final standing pose for today. It's going to include a forward fold. It's a wide-legged forward fold. Once again, we're going to step with the right leg. Big step. We're going to bring the feet nice and wide apart, at least 3 feet between your heels. You want to bring your toes facing forward, almost pigeon-toed. And we're going to take the hands on the hips. I'm going to take an inhale, look up towards the ceiling, and pivoting from your hip. All of you that know all about hip hinging, we're going to hinge at our hip and we're going to fold forward. So it's almost like you're sticking your booty out to do a twerk. And you're going to bring your hands towards the floor. Notice my fingertips are in line with my toes. And it's almost as if I'm using the floor for leverage here to pull my body down. Now, if this is not you today, if you can't get your hands to the floor, just keep your hands on your hips and allow gravity to do the work on the stretch of the hamstrings. If it gets too much on the backs of the knees, just step your feet in a little bit, and once again, hang out in a wide-legged forward fold. We're going to spend another 2 breaths here. Think about lengthening the spine as you inhale, and as you exhale, deepening your fold. Okay, on your next inhale, you're going to bring your hands to your hips, and exhale, come up to standing. We're going to do one more version of this same fold. We're going to take your hands behind your back and interlace your fingers. Roll the shoulders back and down and try to push the forearms towards one another behind you. A little bit of a bend to the knees. Again, we're going to hinge from the hip. Take an inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, fold, and let your head hang heavy. If it feels okay on the shoulders, you're just going to allow the hands to drop behind you. Remaining pressed together in the palms. You're going to allow the arms to just be taken by gravity. You're not going to force this position. Just let the shoulders and the arms be where they're going to be. Take another 2 full breaths here. Inhaling to lengthen the spine and exhale to fold a little deeper. On your next in-breath, release the hands. Bring the hands back to the hips and exhale, come all the way up. From here, we're just going to heel toe the feet towards one another. And once again, come up to the top of your mat. We're going to do 2 more poses in a yin style or a long hold stretch. We're going to do a sun salutation to get there. So we're going to inhale and reach the arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back into your plank position. Exhale, continued. You're going to lower down towards the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, you're just going to lift the hips and sit back into child's pose. You're going to hold here for 2 breaths. Deep belly breaths in and out. And we're going to do the next breath with a sigh. So audibly exhaling through your mouth. You're going to inhale through the nose and then exhale through the mouth. 1 more of those. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. We're going to come onto all fours here. And we're going to do a little bit of movement to get into our first yin position. This is going to be for the shoulders. So you're going to take your hand, right hand, fingertips behind the neck. The elbow is going to point down towards the floor like an arrowhead. You're going to inhale, open the elbow up without shifting in your hips. And then you're going to exhale, bring your elbow through the space between your hand and your knee as you rotate, okay? This is a great stretch for the thoracic spine. Inhale, open up. Try not to shift in the hip. Exhale, twist. And 1 more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist. And then you're going to release the hand. Right hand is actually going to thread right through that gap. And I'm going to bring my shoulder, my right shoulder, all the way down to the floor. In this position, I'm actually going to turn around so that you can see me a little bit better. In this position, my entire right arm is pressing down to the floor, similar to what you would do in a wall clock. So I'm pressing my whole arm down, and then once I've got that pressure, I'm very gently generating a pulling force back towards the right side. But I'm not actually going to pull my arm that way. I'm just going to press into the floor and generate the stretch. And what you should feel is a nice little gentle stretch or pull between your shoulder blade and your spine. Okay, and now we're just going to do the other side. Left fingertips behind the neck. Inhale to open. Exhale, twist. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Now, left hand. Thread the needle. Left arm. Fully in contact with the floor. Pressing down to the floor and gently drawing the arm back towards the left until you feel a gentle stretch between your shoulder blade and your spine. I'm going to breathe here for 5 breaths. And slowly come on up. Second yin pose for today. If you would like, before you come into this second pose, to do a vinyasa. So that means another flow of sun salutation, going from inhaling up, exhale, forward fold, inhale, halfway lift into plank position. All of that sun salutation number 1 that we did, you can do that same sequence again here in between positions. I'm just going to go straight into pose number 2. You want a little extra cushion underneath your knees here. So what I'm doing is folding my mat onto itself. You can use pillows, you can use just carpeted floor. We're going to do frog, which can be fairly intense. So just take it 1 breath at a time. You can see my feet here. I've got a right angle at my ankle, and my knee sits right above my ankle joint with my toes pointed out. I'm going to do that on the left as well. And I'm going to bring my knees as wide as they will go. This is going to be a little bit uncomfortable on the hips, but this is an intense hip opener. We're going to bring the forearms to the ground. If it feels okay, you're going to stack your fists and just rest your forehead on top of your fists. Because you have thoroughly clean and washed hands, I'm not going to worry about you contacting your face with your hands here. We're going to spend a good 10 nasal breaths in this position. If you have a yoga block at home, you can rest your head on that instead. You will feel, as you breathe, the hips opening. So with each inhale and exhale, as you focus mindfully on relaxing the ligaments and the connective tissue that surround your femur, or the femur head, which is the top of your thigh bone and the joint, they will relax. So breathing, relaxing as much as possible despite the discomfort is going to help here. So we're going to count another 4 full breaths, because I'm sure you've done 6 already. Inhaling for at least 2 to 3 seconds through the nose. Exhaling at least 2 to 3 seconds through the nose. Okay, very slowly, you're going to bring your hands to the floor, and very slowly one leg is gonna take most of the weight, and you're gonna shift your knees one at a time towards each other, and you can sit back onto your heels. I'm gonna finish setting you up in Shavasana. Here, if you are doing your higher intensity day and you want to add some cardio, don't bother with Shavasana until you've done your cardio. Save it for when you come back. If you wanted to do another few sun salutations to make this a little bit more of a workout style to get your heart rate up a little bit, you can do that and just make it a yoga recovery workout for today. I'm going to go ahead and set you up in Shavasana, so your final resting pose for today. You're going to take your feet hip width distance apart and just allow the legs to be relaxed. So give your feet a little wag at the ankle joint and at the hip joint, and then allow your legs to come to a resting state. Feet are no longer moving. We're then going to go to the shoulders, tucking the shoulder blades underneath. Palms face up towards the ceiling, and chin is tucked to elongate the neck. Crown of the head shines up and away from your toes. And everybody's got their own personal comfort or meditative state. Some people are into meditating, some are not. So just take this time to breathe mindfully for 3 minutes if meditation is not your thing. If it is, I encourage you to try to limit your thought process. So as thoughts come in and out of your mind, allow them to just free flow through. Try not to hold on to any one thought as it passes through your mind for at least the next 3 minutes. Again, lots of meditative resources on YouTube, so have a play and find something that works for you. Meditation, specifically at this time globally, is going to be only helpful for you. So if you can sort of get past the woo-woo of it, for those of you that are skeptical, I promise you awesome benefits if you just dedicate some time. So I'm going to chill out here for another 3 to 5 minutes. I don't expect you to sit in silence with me, so please practice 3 to 4 minutes of mindfulness on your own, and we will see you guys tomorrow for another workout.